put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to you, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad. Those of you viewing in the Caribbean and those of you on the live, good morning to you. Almost said good Monday morning.
Yes, indeed. No way it's going to be Monday with the kind of action that happened yesterday. Interesting times here in Tobago and, in fact, Trinidad and Tobago. But let's allow you to get the highlights first from our news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Rhea and Julian. I am Bianna Brebner, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, 20th July, 2023. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine named Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and the Commissioner of Police Erla Christopher as some of the high-ranking officials named in a plot to destroy his administration of the THA. Augustine presented documents, audio, and video clips in the House from a whistleblower, Akil Abdullah, to support his claims. In the clips, Abdullah admitted to the leaking the infamous audio clip in the exchange for over $270,000. The plot also involved the political leader of the Tobago Council of the PNM, Ansel Dennis, businessman Kian Warner, head of the White-Collar Crime Division, Wendell Lucas, Inspector Weaver Ali, the Prime Minister's personal lawyer, Gilbert Peterson, and several others. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley denied all the claims he made by the Chief Secretary Farley Augustine in the House yesterday. According to Dr. Rowley, he did not know who the whistleblower Akil Abdullah was, nor does he have any recollections of meetings with him. The Prime Minister also contradicted allegations that he knew or had any interaction with Inspector Weaver Ali mentioned in the Chief Secretary's claim. Furthermore, he categorically denied ever having a meeting with Officer Weaver Ali, attorney at law Gilbert Peterson, and Ansel Dennis. He then described the statements as pure fanciful fabrication by persons for their nefarious purpose. And finally, a new permanent secretary has been appointed to the Central Administrative Services Tobago out of the office of the Prime Minister. Following weeks without a permanent secretary, Erland Kent assumed duty yesterday at the office in Orange Hill. Kent received a warm welcome as he assured the staff at CAS that he is willing to work along with them to fulfill the government's mandate. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. We head straight on over to our birthday shoutouts, sponsored by KFC.
This is your birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
All right, and we start things off this morning celebrating our guy, Ryan Keegan McCool. Or Keegan Ryan McCool, is it?
Yes. My brother out there celebrating a birthday today, and whether it's through the media, just somebody who is well grounded, keeping your ears to the ground, what's happening in this space, very objective kind of guy. You know Keegan in the mix. So this morning we want to send a birthday shout out and to continue to wish you God's continued blessings, my brother.
And we've got Landon Phillips. Belated birthday greetings going out to you, Landon. Trust that you enjoyed and that you continue to enjoy. And happy birthday going out to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates.
Right. Not a birthday this morning, but certainly we'd want to take the opportunity on screen. We have to congratulate Permanent Secretary that assumed duty just came across in the newscast this morning, and we want to send out our congratulations from Tobago Updates to the new permanent secretary in CAS within the office of the Prime Minister, and that's CAS Central Administrative Services Tobago, Mr. Erland Kent. And he would have assumed duty that took place yesterday, Tuesday, the 20th of July. So once again, it's safe to say that Tobago has a chief administrator and a permanent secretary, a chief administrator in the office of the chief secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, and a permanent secretary at CAS under the office of the Prime Minister. Congratulations, Mr. Erland Kent.
Congratulations.
Birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Yes, good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago.
All right. Yeah, we've got some ads to run here, Julian. Just to mention to our viewers, ad for Dad's Auto Parts and Accessories on location at Clark Trace, Signal Hill, currently offering sale on all car parts. Dad's Auto Parts and Accessories is your neighborhood auto supply. From oils to batteries and everything in between, Dad's Auto is your go-to guy. All right, and that's the information there, 722-5746. As well, we've got Zurex Auto Limited. Ad for Zurex Auto Limited. Are you in need for car parts? Zurex Auto Limited, Branch Road, number 2 Glen Road, is your place to go. Walk in or call us at 722-5746 or 280-5902. Zurex Auto for all your car part needs. Sale on all car parts now. All right, and we've also got the Papa Bees ad that we're going to run just a little bit later on this morning for our viewers out there.
Yes, indeed. We have some interesting your thoughts and feelings coming out of, the presentation that took place yesterday in the Tobago House of Assembly in the House by the Chief Secretary at the special sitting of the Tobago House of Assembly.
Julian and viewers, there is a way to do things. Yesterday was a very long day. Yesterday was an extremely long day, while dealing with my uncle's funeral yesterday and family coming together and, we all dealing with stuff. To have to be hearing this on this side, this was not the best news. This was not the best way to treat with things. And I know that our chief knows how to deal with things. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what to say. But there is a way to do things, and I'm not sure what is happening. There seems to be a lot happening against the THA and this present administration, and but still there is a way to do things. There's a way to treat with things.
I just think it's always interesting when you hear things like these and they climax to a point where you begin to wonder, is there any real entity to be able to deal with this? And I make that very simple point because this started with AudioGate, and then you thought to yourself, you would have the police investigate. Then you have statements being made yesterday by the Chief Secretary that, based on the communication that has taken place with this whistleblower, that there's apparently some type of involvement on the part of the police. And then you think to yourself, right, well, the higher offices in the land, may potentially seek to get involved in some way, form, or fashion. And then you hear that there are considerations that they may be already involved in an effort to destabilize. You heard references to the political leader of the Tobago Council, references to the lawyer of the Prime Minister, references to the Prime Minister himself in the circumstances. And you wonder to yourself, if any at all there's any truth starting from AudioGate right up yesterday to the situation with the whistleblower. Who is really going to unearth or to reveal those kinds of circumstances? And then you have the flip side, immediate responses by the Prime Minister, immediate responses by the Commissioner of Police, and then I think we are due to hear from the political leader of the Tobago Council today at his press briefing. So far, the Prime Minister, the Commissioner of Police, etc., all denying the claims that have been put forward by the Chief Secretary. So, very interesting development. We look forward to hearing what comes next. Who knows, perhaps we will hear from the whistleblower himself in the circumstances, giving his perspective and adding it to the mix. Very interesting developments, but we continue to keep on top of the happenings here at Tobago Updates. And therefore, to continue this conversation this morning, we will have the opportunity to chat with Dr. Winford James, political analyst, as we speak to the Tobago House of Assembly and what some may describe as put forward yesterday by the Honorable Chief Secretary as an attempted coup, some kind of a takeover or efforts to destabilize, as we have been described by the Chief Secretary. So we look forward to those upcoming discussions this morning with Dr. Winford James.
All right, and we continue on this morning as we focus a little bit on the Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2023, and we're going to be meeting some of the delegates this morning.
All right, and this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show, we wrap with Miss Rosalind Arnold, Secretary of the Reloaded Steel Ensemble, and George Goddard, and he's also a member as we speak to the Heritage Happening. Georgette Goddard, as we speak to the Heritage Happening. All right, so we look forward to those upcoming discussions here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. All right, viewers, at this point, we head straight on into Tobago in Focus.
Naturally, most persons think that gender automatically refers to a male or female. However, the term can be used in many instances. The gender unit within the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection assists persons in vulnerable situations. Gender Officer Nigel Phillip explains the unit's responsibility in detail.
We address issues of gender-based violence. We address issues of matters that deal with students at schools. So we are in the schools, we are in different programs throughout Tobago, men's group. We address issues that affect both men and also issues that affect female.
For the gender unit to be effective, Philip states they need to have persons on the ground to assist. This currently consists of different NGO groups, religious-based organizations, agencies in Trinidad, and the Ministry of Gender Affairs. The unit also works with the United Nations.
So what we do in terms that we address issues of gender-based violence. So we provide support for persons who come into our office that is affected by gender-based violence. We also work very closely with the TTPS, the police services, the victim and support unit. When cases of domestic violence or gender-based violence come to hand, they will refer the matter to us.
In addition to the unit's large portfolio, they give further intervention when needed. They provide support to NGOs by means of training in how to deal with violence and violent situations. They also provide support by means of funding for various programs.
Presently, right now, from 2020 to present right now, we have been working with the Spotlight Initiative. The Spotlight Initiative is a program designed to assist persons who in gender-based violence. So it educates them. We have different aspects of the program. And one of those aspects is that where we work with those NGOs. So the training that we will offer them is like we had training in sexual violence and how to deal with sexual violence. We have training we would have done training in shelter management, and we would have tried to do training with key persons on the ground.
Key persons on the ground are inclusive of the judiciary, the police services, first responders, and medical services. These trainings also include support training and learning how to gauge persons when they come for support.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. We're just at about 7:16 a.m. this morning, and as we head on into this first segment, we are chatting with Dr. Winford James, political analyst. Good morning to you, Dr. James.
Good morning,
Good
Julian. Good
morning.
morning, Ria. And let
Good
me
morning, sir.
immediately join my voice to the congratulatory remarks about Erland Kent. You may not know, but Erland was a student of mine. And I'm always happy when my students advance. So, congratulations to Erland, and may he continue to make his family proud. May he continue to make Tobago proud.
Yes, certainly a proud
Indeed.
moment for us here in Tobago, and definitely congratulations are noted. Well, as we get the conversation started this morning, yesterday, following a series of events over the last few weeks, we saw certain revelations being made by the Chief Secretary within a special sitting of the Tobago House of Assembly. We want to start off firstly by getting your perspective on what is being described as the allegations and the information being put out there based on information gathered by a whistleblower.
Well, I suppose in summary, we can say that was a bombshell allegation, or the allegations were bombshell allegations. And what the secretary has done is to turn the narrative that started with AudioGate, to turn that away from him and to focus it now on the Prime Minister, the Commissioner of Police, some other police officers, but those two persons or officials in particular, the spotlight now has been shifted from the chief secretary to a certain extent and has now been placed on these high officials. And, you know, what we expected them to do, they have begun doing. Ansel, that's the third person, Ansel Dennis as well. What we expected them to do, they have done. They have denied the allegations. So they chose the path of deniability. And in the case of the chief secretary, one wonders about the credibility of Akil Abdullah, because he's the source of the chief secretary's information, or the main source. And so there will be a different talking point in Tobago and the rest of the nation for some time to come. And I believe the chief secretary invited us to remember what happened at Emailgate. And of course, the person who was at the center of the allegations in terms of who made the allegations was Dr. Keith Rowley. Now we have Farley Augustine making these allegations or revealing these allegations against the Prime Minister, who has denied, along with the Commissioner of Police.
I want to
All is what we expected.
Dr. James, bearing in mind the persons who the allegations would have been put out against, what is the hope here going forward? That there will really be a serious look into it, or there is a heavier rather reliance on the court of public opinion in these circumstances, which sometimes weighs a little heavier?
But we can't escape the court of public opinion. And we are happy that the public is really the court, because you know there must be a way of talking about the issue, hearing what other people are saying, and consensuses being built as a result of the conversation. Conversation is good, especially in political matters, right? But you know, there are officials that we have in the way we are run constitutionally who are supposed to act independently and who are supposed to take action based on what comes before them independently. So we are the chief secretary is expecting action from the police, but he doesn't trust the police. He's expecting action from the director of public prosecutions. That might happen. Somebody has to take the information to the Director of Public Prosecutions, and we expect the police to be the ones, who are supposed to do that. But the chief secretary is expecting that to happen. Not only that, but he has decided to write international bodies complaining or at least reporting on what has occurred. And he's expecting international condemnation of the attempts, in his judgment, to besmirch his name, attempts to put him in bad light and to destroy him and his administration. That's what he's hoping. But there will be a different talking point now in the country with respect to what has happened in AudioGate. And this chief secretary has quite a number of questions that he asked at the very end of his presentation, which questions will have renewed focus and importance as the days go by. We don't know, so we are going to be listening. We are going to follow the events. The opposition in Trinidad, I'm sure, is going to take the matter up. I think we are in for some very interesting times, to put it very mildly.
Opinion, are there lines being crossed? Are there lines being crossed into the THA's affairs with regards to the Commissioner of Police, the Prime Minister? There seems to be some say there's some muddying of the waters with regards to where the lines are drawn and the crossing of these lines into the THA's affairs. Your thoughts?
Well, I haven't heard the crossing of the line bit. I know that we have had, for example, Marvin Gonzalez talking about the park at Cove and almost remonstrating with the House of Assembly for undertaking that project without seeking the advice of or the help of the House of Assembly. But if that is what Mr. Gonzalez intended, he's out of line in that case. He's crossing the line if that's where he's going with that. That's not his business. But there is a whole more than a century of abuse of Tobago and its homegrown opinions for quite some time. Now, with respect to what the Chief Secretary revealed to us yesterday, was that crossing of the line? Well, the Chief Secretary is saying if what Akil Abdullah is revealing is true, then it is clear that an attempt was made to corrupt public officials, that the Prime Minister crossed the line in apparently instructing Miss Christopher to do whatever. But there is that charge. There is a charge, of course, of the person, the police officer in whose name the warrants were made out. That police officer being in the room as part of a conversation to bring the Chief Secretary down. Now, remember, we are saying these are allegations. We don't know. But if they are true, then there is definitely a crossing of the line, because the Prime Minister is not supposed to instruct the police officer, the police commissioner, and the leader, political leader of the Tobago PNM, if these matters are official, has no local standby in how the House of Assembly is run. I'm talking from an official point of view. If these things are true, then there has been a crossing of the line by the police, by the Prime Minister, and by the political leader of the PNM, Tobago PNM.
Dr. James, bearing in mind the intention that the Chief Secretary stated, and you made reference to it, to be able to write to these, regional and international entities, And it is no secret that the opposition leader has also taken that kind of position to write. Are you concerned any at all of how this begins to posture Trinidad and Tobago in the eyes of those outside of Trinidad and Tobago regarding the current leadership and more so the country as a whole?
Well, we don't know what the fallout will be. And in the first place, if the chief secretary is going to embark on an action like that, there are risks. And one of the risks, of course, is to malign the reputation of Tobago and, of course, Trinidad and Tobago. But this is politics we are involved in. And we know that the party in power national is different from the party in power in Tobago. And they don't see eye to eye as we expect. And that there are wounds that are festering in the politics of the two islands. So we know that. And we can quickly say that it is, you know, almost, you know, this is to be understood that that will happen or that could happen. And we can almost, you know, forgive the chief secretary for taking that course of action. But if he feels himself to be under threat, if he feels that his administration is under threat, then the extreme action which we are saying it is perhaps understandable. Although we could have said that it could have been avoided, it was also avoidable if the politics of the country were run differently. So yes, there might be that concern, but I think Chief Secretary is more concerned about survival, because if what Akil Abdullah is reported to have said to him and is reported to have been exposed to, like bribery, for example, being paid to bring the house down, to bring father down. If that is the case, we can understand Fali's alarm at that intent, and he has produced evidence. Whether the evidence is credible or not, that's a different story. But you know, given the chief secretary's sense of the danger to which his administration was being put, that there was this plot to bring them down, right? And of course, give the PNM a better advantage in expectation of the next general elections. And we're not talking local government elections now, although that might be impacted. But if we are talking about the peril that the chief secretary sees himself to be a victim of, then you could understand why he has taken the steps that he has taken. I don't know that he could have avoided some of the things given the toxic relationship between the House of Assembly and the central government.
Dr. James, the flip side, very quickly before we close this morning, how do you respond to those that indicate that this is merely, raised now, intending to be a distraction, as was raised by the minority leader, and you're hearing some indicating that via social media as well, a distraction from the real issue in relation to the concerns associated with the audio clip?
Well, I don't know if that's the real issue. I'm not one of those guys who think that the audio clip is clear enough. I know that there is a dominant narrative relation to it, that there is a plot to use state funds, in a way that is unacceptable. But for me, the audio tape was not as clear, and what has developed suggests that the thing was not done as professionally as the creators intended it to be done. So I don't know, but it cannot be a distraction. Distraction from what? It cannot be a distraction from the audio tape because the investigation is going on. But when you have developments of the kind that the chief secretary has put before our faces, then this is not simply a distraction, because the question is, what is the real issue here? It is not simply a political party planning, discussing how to misuse state funds. It doesn't seem to be that way. And now, if you have the police commissioner involved, if these things are true, these are merely developments, we don't know. If you have the police commissioner involved, but denying it, if you have the prime minister involved, but denying it, if you have I understand that Mr. Dennis will be making a statement later today, but apparently he's going to deny it, then this is not a distraction. This is a terrible development, and we must get to the heart of it, But there'll be the political noises, and things will become clearer as more information comes to light. But it seems to me that apart from just simply denying that they were involved, the question is, how do they explain the charges being leveled against them by Akil Abdullah? He's making some very serious charges. His credibility, of course, and his life, I might say, might be in some jeopardy here. But there are questions that the public needs answers to. It is not the best, as Ria was saying at the start of the show, it's not what she would have wanted to see develop in the country. It's not what she was expecting yesterday, from a personal perspective. It's not what we would like to see happen, but politics is like that. Things are not as hunky-dory as we would like, and we have to go on with the business of the land.
All right. Thank you very much there, Dr. James. We've got to leave it there, folks. Dr. Winford James, political analyst, certainly giving us his opinion and that perspective in relation to where things are at currently. And based on the way things are happening, Dr. James, certainly I know we will be chatting in the coming days and weeks as the perspectives and the views continue to come forward. Thank you very much again, Dr. Winford James, for joining us here on set.
And I hope.
All right, viewers, we want to thank you so much for your continued love and support and for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show. At this point, we want to remind each and every one of you, those connected via TV, those listening in on the radio, and even those of you joining us on social media, we remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Come one, come all. It's time to join in the Tobago Heritage Festival 2023. Homage. All are we, and all are who we be. To Tobago. Indulge in the awesomeness that is embodied in the spirit of Tobago at the 36th Tobago Heritage Festival. Celebrate a rich, vibrant, hypnotic showcase of our cultural legacy. Yes, from July 21st to August 1st, 2023. Take the island tour. Sample the sumptuous variety of local indigenous delicacies. Enjoy the recreation of old-time village life. Dance to the drum. Feel the rhythm of steel pan. Experience the way of life, languages, and oral traditions. Be part of the journey to our we heritage, honoring our past, celebrating our present, and inspiring our future. Relive our unique culture. Join in the preservation of the heritage of we island of Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, viewers. Hailing from the scenic and picturesque village of Goodwood, Tobago, I am your delegate, Crystal Lashley, representing the Goodwood Police Youth Club on the 25th See and Be There, the new Yam Festival.
Hello, Crystal.
Hi.
Tell me a little bit about what has the experience been for you so far?
So in terms of the experience, I must say I am really happy and proud to be a part of this festival. I must say a special thanks to our coordinator, Miss Gillian Franklin, and her assistants, Oshun and Davia. And I must say as well, special congratulations to our wonderful delegates. Trust me, they are really the best.
And what is your favorite part of the Tobago Heritage Festival?
For me, the favorite part of this festival, well, thus far going forward, I like the natural treasure hunt which takes place at Charlotteville. So I'm hoping that I will be there so I could participate in the dancing of the cocoa, the washing of the riverbed, and stuff like that.
And then finally, what does being a part of this competition, what would it mean for you to be crowned Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2023?
Well, I must say, if I'm crowned, or I should say, when I'm crowned, yes, I'm hoping that we can keep this sisterhood together, the love, the unity that I feel amongst ourselves, and yeah, I think that should be it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Come and see, come and see. Come and see, come and see. Come and see, come.
Hi everyone, I am Dejel Kwashi, representing the beautiful village of Golden Lane, culturally called Monka Lane and home to the oldest silk cotton tree.
Come and see.
Hello, Deji. Tell me a bit about the experience so far. What has it meant for you?
My experience so far is truly a transformative experience. It allowed me to showcase my uniqueness and my talents to the larger audience in Tobago, and also our mentors was really patient with us. So this experience for me was truly a transformative experience.
And what's one thing that you've learned that has stood out so far in the competition?
Always be brave. Always be brave.
Just like right now.
Yes.
All right. And then if you are to be crowned Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2023, what would it mean for you?
It will mean a lot for my community and my supporters, and also for myself, because I am not the typical everyday girly girl, so it will mean a lot to me.
Right. Thank you so much, Deja, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Come and see, come and see. Come and see, come and see. Come and see.
Good morning, Tobago. I am Tanika Cruikshank. I am the delegate for the vibrant rhythmic group Sisters in Culture. I encourage you to join me as we pay homage, we inspire, we educate, and we honor. I cannot wait to see you on the 21st to see me in my gown.
Hello, Tanika. How are you?
Hi, Candice. I'm fine.
So tell me, what has been the experience for you so far being a part of this competition?
The experience so far has been nothing but excitement, fun, educative, and it is an experience for anyone out there who would like to be a part of this competition.
And what special are you bringing to the Miss Tobago Heritage Personality?
I must say my unique, outgoing, bright personality is an addition to the Miss Tobago Heritage Personality competition.
And if you were to be crowned Queen, Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2023, what would that mean for you?
It would mean a great honor to me because the journey so far has brought each delegate and I to a closer sisterhood, and I would not like that sisterhood to end. So to me, I would bring back queens from the last 5 years to form a community to make the Tobago Heritage Festival much better than it is today.
Thank you so much, Tanika, and best of luck.
Come and see, come and see. Come and see, come and see.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am beauty, I am brains, I am talent. I am Melinda Cathy Alfred, representing Delicia's dance agency.
Hello, and how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Now tell me, what has this experience been like for you so far?
My experience has been amazing. I just love my sisters. I love the compassion that all of them have and the encouragement that I've been given to my mentors as well.
What has this competition, why did you choose to be a part of this competition?
Growing up, looking up to my cousin who has also participated in this competition. She won when she went up, and it encouraged me to come out of my comfort zone and to try and go up and follow in her footsteps.
And if you were crowned Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2023, what would that mean for you?
That would mean a great deal for me, as it will give me a platform where I can go and encourage other young ladies and teach them what I've learned, as well as give them the encouragement to become and come out of their comfort zone, and to know that coming out of your comfort zone doesn't mean anything bad. It's just an opportunity to be your better self.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Come and see, come and see. Come and see, come and see. Come and see.
Greetings, I am Sparkle Taylor Miller, representing the scenic, authentic fishing village of Castara and a proud member of the Tobago's Cultural Ambassadors Extraordinaire. Come along with me on this journey as we honor the past, celebrate our present, and inspire our future.
Come and see.
Good morning, and how are you doing?
I am fine, thanks.
What has the experience been like for you as part of the competition?
Thus far, the experience has been an unanticipated experience, full of excitement, a lot of work that I did not expect, a lot of team building, a lot of encouragement from our mentors, Miss Jillian, Ushun, Davia. It has been one that I would always remember. I would take it home with me, even after the show.
And which Tobagonian inspires you along your journey?
I would say the late Arthur Napoleon Robinson. He has set a platform for us in Tobago, and I think that with his inspiration, I chose to use this opportunity to set a platform for Castara again to showcase our uniqueness and our authentic fishing village.
And if you were crowned Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2023, what would that mean for you?
That will mean a tremendous deal, not only to me, but especially my village, because they are looking at everything that I do. And it will help to build Castara even stronger than we are. It will also be able to enhance our culture, enhance how we preserve our culture in Castara, and it would mean a tremendous deal to my two daughters who are looking up at me for this, at this tremendous occasion. So the personality will also encourage me to form a better hand with other persons, as my colleagues behind us has said previously, that we would form a group and be able to teach the younger ones, a lot more about their culture that they have lost during this time.
Thank you so much, and best of luck in the competition.
Thank you.
Come and see, come and see.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sabrina Olive Henry, your delegate and representative for the awesome piece of nature and people that is my village, Mason, Tobago, in the Miss Tobago Heritage Personality Show 2023. Join me as I pay homage to all are we and all are who are we be.
Good morning, and how are you doing?
Good morning, I'm fine, thank you.
What has been the experience been like for you so far in the competition?
This has been an amazing experience thus far, working with the other 6 delegates, learning our different cultures, and our strong support system, Miss Jillian, Dave, and Oshun. It has been amazing so far.
Finally, if you were to be crowned Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2023, what would that mean for you?
When I'm crowned the Miss Tobago Heritage 2023, I will use this new platform to bring positivity throughout Tobago, and I will also bring my contributions to help in the development of my community.
Thank you so much, and best of luck in the competition.
Thank
Come
you.
and see, come and see. and see. Come and see, come and see. Come and see, come and see. Tobago.
Green and brush back.
This is the heritage.
Are you flood ready? Review and update insurance coverage. Install floodgates and barriers. Create a family flood plan. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Tapicom. Welcome to the future. The only card you will need in a new world. Digital business cards. Safe, hassle-free. The future is here. Tapicom. New generation digital transfer. Digital time clock cards. Digital attendance cards. Air tags. Customized designs. Digital clothing tags. Digital pet tags. Tapicom. The future is here. Contact us today.
Put a smile on your face.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Viewers, in this segment, we are chatting with Karen Eastman, President for the Charlotteville Heritage Performers, and Takesha Charles, the Secretary. And yes, folks, you know, once you hear Seville and we in that heritage season, we're talking about the day where if you work in the field, you schedule all your work for very far up in the east, naturally, because we got to be there. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning.
So this morning we're getting the conversation started with Natural Treasures Day. Tell us a little bit, just before we dive into the specifics for this year, the significance of this on the heritage calendar. It seems to be one of those must-attend events over the years.
Well, as some would say, it's a must. You must come. You must come to Charlotteville. Thank you for having us. And Charlotteville is a staple on the calendar of events for cultural activities on the island. And Natural Treasures Day would have made its mark on the island. We pride our presentation. We work very hard under the astute coordinatorship, or what should I say, leadership of Mrs. Annette Alfred, who has been with us for the past 21 years, who is also a Charlottevillian herself. So this year, you can look forward to nothing less than what we have been presenting over the years. We also appreciate the fact that we have a number of young people in our organization, and not so young. We are a very large organization, about 100+ members and people who assist. So we start working 3 months or more in advance to present this wonderful treasure, Natural Treasures Day, to the people of Tobago. And we are asking you to come up to Charlotteville on Monday, the 24th. We have a grand packed day events and treat for the people of Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, and yes, folks, he's saying Monday the 24th, but don't get it mixed up at all. That's this Monday coming. You're heading to Charlotteville. Yes. Let's head straight into the day. How does the day start? What time? If people are an estimation, let's walk through the day.
Okay, well, the day starts at 9 a.m. at the Fort Campbellton with a opening prayer. The Chief Secretary will declare these activities open. We'll have ritual dance, and then we'll take the trek down at the first, well, we know it as a first stop. You know, that's where you get all your goodies, your tarts, you know, your sweets and stuff like that. Then we make our way to the river where we wash the dead bed. You know, that's where they take the dirty linens from the home of the person that is deceased, and you wash it out and stuff like that. At that stop, you have a short play where we will have the reenactment of what used to happen yesteryear, right? I am the leader of that area, so you know, it's a lot to look forward to at that stop.
From what I've seen before, this is one of the spaces where there's that community meetup.
Yes, yes, definitely.
And usually Bacchanal.
Yes.
Bacchanal, La Carré.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's where you hear all the, local parlance, commerce in the village, what takes place at the home and stuff like that of the deceased.
All right, good. And then where do we go from there?
Well, from the washing of the dead bed, we move now on to the Cocoa House, where
everybody wants to see the dancing or even participate in the dancing of the cocoa. But what is really significant about that area is long ago, you know, Charlotteville and Tobago produce cocoa, have a number of cocoa estates. And we would actually show the people the process of how we would have prepared the cocoa for exportation in those days. And you would know that in those days, or for parents when they worked on the plantation, the cocoa money or cess money, as some would say, this is what would have sent most of our foreparents to school to give them a proper education. And, you know, so we go through the entire process there, the cutting of the cocoa from the trees, the sweating of the cocoa to remove the pulp or slime from the skin, the polishing of the beans, and then you prepare them, you put them in the sun, prepare them, polish them for exportation. We then move on to the coal pit, where you would make coals, where the burning of the coals, that is an added, well, for the past couple of years, attraction to our presentation. So we have Miss Valerie and Otis, they would be there burning, but they would start the process about a week before, start producing coals for barbecue and to cook and to iron clothes, you know, the coal pot iron. Right. That iron, you would put the coals in the coal pot and you put the iron on top to heat. That is how they would iron clothes long ago. So they would be demonstrating for you that process. After the coal pit, we move to the village bakery, where we have the dirt oven and all whatever you think could be made in the dirt oven, your tart, your pone, your sweet bread, your bread, you know, your coconut drops, all these things are made in the dirt oven, and there are a number of ladies there working from the day before, baking bread and baking all these pastries to present and for sale. We will have fry fish and bread or bake as well on sale at that spot.
And when you think it's over there, there's still a night time.
It's not, the day continues, Mr. Skeet. You know, the trek continues on to the saw pit, where we would show you and demonstrate to you how we would produce wood or lumber to make furniture, your bed, and your, you know, so on long ago. Right alongside that, there is the batty mill, where we would demonstrate the squeezing of the cane, the sugar cane, to make sugar and so on. After there, we would come to the main area, where you can rest and have lunch. The Charlotteville Heritage Group would be preparing a lumptious meals, kong tea, pong plantain, crab, you know, you name it. And we have a well-stocked bar, and there is where you can relax, rejuvenate, and we will entertain you. We have a lanyard up there for you, where our young people is special. They are so special to us that they will be singing, dancing. You know, we have a skit there as well. Long before, we used to have a night show, but we cut that out and we try to put everything during the day so that people can enjoy the day's activity. You can take a sea bath. You know, we used to have the treasure hunt long ago, but, you know, financial times would have incurred and we could not continue that. But rest assured, for years to come, it will come back. But that main area, we have a treat for you, singing, dancing, drama, you name it. You will be entertained. Come to Charlotteville on Monday, the 24th, Monday.
Excellent. Takisha, Secretary, I know there's that general spirit of commitment. Everybody that I know from Charlotteville, Karen, Rihanna, the full lineup, Auntie Annette, all in the mix. That spirit and that commitment to Charlotteville. Remind our viewers before we close this interview today, why is this a must-attend event on Monday?
Charlotteville Natural Treasures Day, it's the best on the heritage calendar. Come out, support, you know, enjoy yourself, bring your friends. Don't forget to come early because parking will be a problem. So once you get in early, there is no issue for you. Come, enjoy yourself, and let's have a grand time. Learn the traditions of yesteryear.
All right. And I probably just add in, as Auntie Annette would say, don't be afraid to stay. So you could spend the entire day and stay till the next day as well.
We have bed, a blow-up bed. We will fix that.
All right. Thank you very much again,
you.
Karen Eastman and
you.
Tikisha Charles for joining us here on set this morning, representing the Charlotteville Heritage Performers as we speak Natural Treasures Day 2023 that takes place this Monday from 9 a.m. and they're going right down. And you've just been reminded to ensure that you get up there early to ensure the full day's proceedings. Thank you very much again for joining us on set here this morning. And viewers, we want to remind you that this is your opportunity, and let me invite Charlotteville to join me in this. This is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Inner Health, number 13B Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Are you flood ready? Recycle and properly dispose of large waste. Avoid sweeping yard clippings or trash into drains. Plant trees to avoid soil erosion. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. Tatil, where people are people.
Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. It is not a concert. It is not a concert. Here to tell us what it is, we've got on set Rosalind Arnold, who is the secretary of the Reloaded Steel Ensemble. Along with her this morning, Georgette Goddard, a member of the Reloaded Steel Ensemble. And this morning, it's a heritage happening, is it? What is it? What it is and what it's not? Ladies, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
No, it's good to have you on the program this morning. Some are thinking concert. It's not a concert. What is it?
It's a happening. it's a happening. It's a group of jolly pan players who would have contributed quite a bit in the more productive years. And we have been practicing over the years. We've had concerts and so on previously, but we decided that this year we'll have a happening to coincide with our heritage season. And in this happening, we will be providing for the public music, traditional music, a wide range of music. For example, we'll have heritage songs, we'll have calypso, we'll have our food section with traditional foods and a drink, local drinks, and so on. It's not just for the Reloaded Ensemble. We have other bands that will be participating.
All right, we'll get into that in just a little while. But tell us, what is unique about this particular group?
I think it's because we are all, most of them retired, over 60.
Hey.
When you think about people in that particular class,
Yes.
you never expect them to go out there to see people and play pan. And strange enough, none of us had an experience before. So that we started from scratch.
At age 60 and over.
60 and over. Most of them retired, so we started in retirement. Some of us maybe one or two not retired as yet. But we have all been there and we are learning. We started from scratch and we are building.
Okay, now this is very unique. All of these persons would have started or started with this group without having any prior pan experience. They're all over 60 and or retired. So little or no pan experience, and they are coming to be a part of this. And I think this is incredible. So to Elton Richardson, my daddy out there, Elton, there is hope for you yet. For you to get involved with this. You're a keyboardist, yes, but maybe this is your opportunity to learn the pan, okay? And for all of you others out there who are still alive, there's still hope.
Yeah.
All right, so, and that I think is what is very unique about this particular group. So what has the experience been like for both of you ladies?
Well, I'm enjoying myself immensely.
But is it something that you always wanted to do?
Well, I've been around pan. I've been around young people. I was at Bishop's High School. We had a pan ensemble there, and I was always with Mr. Moore, the music teacher.
Right.
And he always used to encourage me. He was saying, "Why don't you learn?" I said, "No, this is for the young people." But as I retired and, you know, enjoying the best life, I said, "But it's a good time." My friend said to me, "Why don't we go and learn?" I said, "Yes, let's go." And I joined these happy people. And we, on Thursdays and Fridays, we have a jolly good time playing the pan.
Well, I must also say that I've been involved in choirs from since about how many years ago. I've been singing. And when I heard about Reloaded, because my daughter played pan, my son played pan. And when I heard about Reloaded, I took it upon myself. I said, I'm going to enjoy it. I want to learn to play the pan. One piece of instrument I wanted to play was the pan. And as I got that opportunity, I went along. And I have never regretted. I mean, it took some time for me to really grasp what it is. But, I mean, along with the buffing from the director, because he is not easy. When
Who's the director of this
Mr. Sardina.
Mr. Sardina.
Yes, and strange enough, we were in class together at school. So you know he has that kind of thing. We have that kind of thing, so he can tell me anything. And I just ignore him most of the time. But I'm glad he does that, right? Because I'm getting to learn more and more of it. And being there now for about 7 years or so, I have learned quite a lot. 4 or 5 years ago, things that I couldn't do, now I can do it. And I realize that I have grown, and I will continue to grow.
That's right.
And I'm happy, really happy to be there with them.
We're really happy to hear that. And I love how Miss Arnold termed it. It's a happening, not a concert.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the timing of this happening to coincide with our Tobago Heritage Festival.
Well, the thing about it, the last function we had was about, I think it was in 2019. And because of COVID, we were not able to have anything else.
Right.
So, we started back our practice sessions last year. And we went along and we say, we keep learning, and we're not doing anything. And Heritage is coming along. So we just think about the opportunity. This would be a nice opportunity to be involved. And when we checked on the schedule, we realized there was a day. There was nothing taking place. And we said, okay.
And you slipped it in.
Yes, yeah. That was the 23rd of July, which is Sunday coming, at 5 p.m. down at the
Mount Pleasant Tennis Court.
Okay.
The steel band.
We practice at the Dixieland Panten, and we are gracious to them for hosting us every Thursday and Friday, and we enjoy that.
And tell us now, when is this happening, taking place?
It's coming on the 23rd, Sunday coming here, which is 23rd of July.
And where?
Dixieland Panten down at Mount Pleasant at 5 p.m.
Okay.
We have guest artists as Nabri Nightingale and also Dixieland Steel Orchestra. So I think people will be in for a treat.
Is there a cost?
Yes, $200.
$200.
Which includes some kind of refreshment.
Yeah. Okay. So you get a drink and you get traditional Tobago food.
I love how you said it, traditional, because it's coinciding with Heritage. It's happening, yes. All right, so traditional Tobago food.
That's right.
All right. Ladies, thank you. And where can persons purchase the tickets?
I'm central. And anybody can find me on Robinson Street, our gym brokers. I have tickets there. I think you can get from the secretary or from the Warners. Those are the ones that are kind of mostly around that you can get there.
And that's Lincoln and Ruby Warner, Sir and Miss.
Yes.
Okay. All right, ladies, thank you again for being with us this morning. There was lots coming up on over the weekend, so you want to purchase your tickets, you can contact Miss Goddard or Miss Arnold or the Warners for your tickets to this incredible function.
I can give you telephone contacts?
Yes, please.
Right. Contact me at 705-9771. The Warners 798-2678. Miss Arnold.
And myself, 737-3026.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you so much, and all the best to you. This is a must-see. You've got to see this, okay? Certainly. All right, and all the best to you. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers, lots more coming up this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. So share the live, share the live, share the live.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
How it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. this is your show. More, live more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to Tobago Updates Morning Show. We're chatting this morning with Shaquille Jones. He is a member of the Village Council and also the choreographer. He's going to tell us more about what's coming up with Salaka Feast that's coming out of Pembroke, Tobago. You got to say it with some attitude. Pembroke, Tobago. Shaquille, good morning. It's good to have you on the program.
Good morning, Ria. I'm happy to be here.
Now, I know it's been a while since we connected. The last I saw of you, you were out studying, and then you came back, and then boom, you were out there doing your thing. Tell us what's happening this year in fact, tell us what you've been up to before we get into Salaka Feast.
Well, upon my return from completing my master's at Florida State University, I was hired at the Tobago Performing Arts Company as the movement and dance coordinator, where I sort of oversee, develop and implement the dance programming for the company, choreograph for their productions, and deal with training and development of its residents.
All right, and that's a lot. That is a lot happening right there. All right, so let's talk now about Salaka Feast. What is happening with Salaka Feast? Is there a new element this time around? We've been on lockdown, and there have been some elements of heritage along the way. What can the public expect this year?
Well, what we have sought to do is really just improve the quality of the production. You know, in Pembroke, what we do is celebrate with the ancestors through the Salaka Feast. Salaka really meaning or synonymous to food and celebration. And we really embark upon creating that experience for patrons that would visit the community for the show, so that they could get to experience what it means to give thanks to the community, what it means to see the community come out and celebrate and give thanks to those who would have gone before us, who would have paved the way for us, and, you know, just be with us as we celebrate that.
All right. And certainly, in terms of the involvement, in terms of the impact that this particular celebration, ritual, heritage, commemoration has on the community. Tell us about the impact.
Well, the Salaka and its ritual in itself is about building community and bringing the community together. It started in Carriacou, Grenada, and it's something that goes on there up until this day. But, you know, through migration and so forth, those practices came to Tobago. And just the same way it would bring the community together and bring them alive in those settings, it brings the Pembroke people together as we celebrate the idea of dance and drumming and singing. You know, usually the setting is in a drum yard, what they consider to be the drum yard, and the drummers would come and they would do the presentation of the parent plate, pour the libations to the ancestors to welcome them, and then we have the nation dances and the chanting and the singing. So it's all about bringing community together, celebrating as community, involving as little as the children and as old as the elder ones, just kind of celebrating what it means to be connected to culture in a particular type of way.
All right. Let's talk about the involvement of our youth, Tobago's youth, in what happened, what's coming out of Pembroke. Now, I know over the last couple of years or so, you would have lost some stalwarts, some community stalwarts that were very instrumental in the production coming out of Pembroke. Is there a way of honoring them this time around? What's going to happen this time?
I mean, we always honor the people that would have gone before us, who would have laid the foundation in the community. But as you spoke to youth, Mr. Wendell Berkeley and Ms. Karen Berkeley Charles, what they have recognized is that there are new and emerging talents coming out of the community, and they have sort of not stepped aside but more or less oversee and guide, but giving the youth a platform. So this year the production would be directed by Leanne Charles, who is someone that would have come through the rank and file of the community, you know, someone who would have been with us for years dancing. So she's now, after completing a degree in fine arts, cultural arts, she's now at the point where she's directing the production this year. Myself as a lead choreographer will be there, and there are other choreographers, Darcel Kirk, Gillian Franklin, all of whom would have come through the Pembroke community, learn the traditions from persons like Mr. Berkeley and Miss Karen, and now at a position where we are able to teach the younger generation. We also have a group of children involved from as young as 4 years old. They usually come and do Demanding Nation Dance, the dance of children. So the community makes space for its youth to allow them to learn the traditions, be a part of these celebrations, to understand and appreciate the culture in a particular type of way, and to be able to, sustain the cultural richness of the community.
All right, I'm really happy to hear that. Now tell us what's happening and when.
Okay, so the production, Pembroke Heritage Salaka Feast, it happens on Wednesday, 26th July. We have the morning ritual at 6 a.m., which would begin at the Pembroke Bridge, and we journey through the community and end at the Heritage Park. And then in the evening from 8 p.m., we have the village production.
All right. So it's all happening. It's all happening for Salaka Feast at Pembroke. And Shakila, I want you to tell our viewers this morning in terms of what makes the Salaka Feast. In fact, this has always been one of the most sought after, one of the heritage staples that people gravitate to. There's always a huge crowd. People want to see, people want to know more about it. Tell me more. What is it about Salaka Feast?
I think is the richness in the tradition, and to see how the community comes alive in the celebration and the Thanksgiving and the honoring of the ancestors, but more specifically the dancing, the drumming, the chanting, and let's not forget the food. People love to come to get a taste of that roast pork, the dirt oven bread, the pone, all of the delicacies that we bake in the dirt oven. So that is what really attracts the people to always come and be a part, because the things just taste good, and and
who are the major cooks coming out of Pembroke?
So the major cooks,
put them on blast this morning. Yes.
We have Miss Henrietta Tantiliota Murray. She was known as the village baker. Then we have Kyron Jerry, who does a lot of the cooking. Then there is Patricia Kirk and her family that does a lot of the cooking as well. And the Murray family, who are the descendants of Henrietta Tantiliota Murray.
Okay, so those are the sweet hand people.
Yes, the sweet hand people in the village. And those are the people who just cook the food that people so love and they to taste every year.
I love it. All right, well, all the best to you guys coming up for 2023, and it's all about the Tobago Heritage Festival 2023. All right, so you've got to be a part of it. You've got to be there. Now, Shaki, we're getting ready to wrap up. We've got GMT coming up. We've got Tobago Notes coming up. So we're saying goodbye. But I want you, in your own Shaquille Jones tea-pack way, to take us out. If Jesse were here, Jesse Taylor, he loves to say to share the life. But we're not saying share the life. You're wrapping us up this morning. And we head over to GMT. Go ahead, Shaquille Jones.
Yeah, put me on black.
I know you can handle it. Go ahead, Shaquille Jones.
Okay, folks. I don't know, you're putting me on black.
Okay, you just wrap us up in your anything.
Tobago, the Heritage Festival is on this year from July 21st to August 1st. Come out and share in Tobago's culture, Tobago's history. Come out and support the communities and be there with us as we celebrate our ancestry, our influences, and the vibrancy of our Tobago people and tradition.
Go local now, go local.
Me wire for come out and support our thing. Yes, from July 1st, 21st to August 1st. See you there.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
The distribution of grants is not the only responsibility of the Realization for Economic Achievement REACH program. Recently, the unit provided business training for over 30 REACH recipients and potential business owners in celebration of the United Nations Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Day, entitled Improving Micro-Enterprises Resilience.
We want your business to be successful no matter what type of business it is, no matter what products or services you offer. We want after a few years, some of you move on from micro to small to medium to large and international. Yes, I said international.
Learning about taxes, how to do taxes, accounting, you name it. And then the Netco here actually elaborated on a lot of those and the assistance that you could get from Netco training programs and so on.
I always wanted to attend something like this because there's a lot of things about small businesses we as small business owners do not know or would like more information, and this training is very, very helpful because a lot of things that was said that I did not even know, like your BIR and the help you can get from other enterprise where your business is concerned.
With REACH doing these type of programs now, it actually helping individual to have a good start in the beginning, right? So I think it's something that they could continue doing, and it's extremely helpful.
Business is dynamic. It's awesome. And I'm not speaking to you as the Secretary for Health alone. I'm speaking to you as somebody who has been in the business world. And I'm going to go back to my opening statement. If you want to be successful, you must realize your business is a living, breathing organism that needs your love and attention.
This business education course took place over 2 days at the Shore Park complex.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine named the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, and the Commissioner of Police, Earl Christopher, as some of their high-ranking officials named in a plot to destroy the administration of the THA. Augustine presented documents, audio, and video clips in the House from a whistleblower, Akil Abdullah, to support his claims. In the clips, Abdullah admitted to leaking the infamous audio clip in exchange for over $270,000. The plot also involved the political leader of the Tobago Council of the PNM, Ansel Dennis, businessman Keon Warner, head of the White Collar Division, Wendell Lucas, Inspector Weaver Ali, the Prime Minister's personal lawyer, Gilbert Peterson, and several others. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, denied all claims made by the Chief Secretary Fali Augustine in the House yesterday. According to Dr. Rowley, he did not know the whistleblower Akil Abdullah, and nor does he have any recollections of meetings with him. The Prime Minister also contradicted allegations that he knew or had any interaction with Inspector Weaver Ali mentioned in the Chief Secretary's claims. Furthermore, he categorically denied ever having a meeting with Officer Weaver Ali, Attorney at Law Gilbert Peterson, and Ansel Dennis. He then described the statements as pure fanciful fabrication by persons for their own nefarious purpose. And finally, a new permanent secretary has been appointed to the Central Administrative Services out of the office of the Prime Minister. Following weeks without a permanent secretary, Erland Kent assumed duty yesterday at the office in Orange Hill. Kent received a warm welcome as he assured the staff at CAS that he is willing to do the work along with them to fulfill the government's mandate. And that was in news in 90 seconds, brought to you by Flo.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Good morning, Tobago. On Tobago Updates viewers, well, we had a very, very interesting day yesterday. We knew that the Chief Secretary was going to go to the House and he was going to provide us with some explanations. We knew that he was going to make a very strong and clear statement. What we did not expect was the level of bombshells that he dropped yesterday and the allegations that he made. Some serious allegations that implicates all people all the way up to the head of this country. And joining us on set this morning to discuss these things, we have Mr. Gerald McFarlane, a former assemblyman and someone very famous in the space. Good morning and welcome to you.
Thanks for your warm compliments. I'm blushing.
It's so wonderful to have you on set this morning. Now, I mean, after hearing yesterday's statement from the Chief Secretary, what were your initial reactions?
Well, as you said, it's a bombshell and nobody expected that. You were hearing talk about that kind of interaction that was happening within the space, you know, from the time that that the Watson Duke separated itself from the party and the other members of the assembly. You know, you're hearing all sorts of talk and all sorts of developments that were taking place. Mm-hmm. But we didn't expect that level of seriousness. And based on what was described yesterday, I think it's certainly a scandal of sort of serious proportions, you know, and you just can't just take this thing lightly, you know, and I just concerned about the comment by the Prime Minister where he talked about fancy fabrication, you know, a serious thing like that, you know. I mean, this thing is supposed to be investigated thoroughly, and I would expect that, you know, we find a way to avoid these kind of things in the future. I mean, these things, people plot against political parties, you know, continue to plot against one another by doing all sorts of nefarious things and maybe all sorts of acceptable things, you know. But this one, I think, especially where it was recorded, you know, it really implicates a number of persons. And it's not good for politics. It's not good for governance. And it imputes improper motives with a number of persons involved in this thing, and not just ordinary persons, but people in serious political positions in this country.
Now, do you think that there was any truth to what was said in the House?
You mean about the report? About
yes. About all the allegations? So,
yeah, I think some of it most likely have some truth in it, and that is what is worrying. But you have to understand politics and politicians, you know, I myself being one. And, you know, sometimes not all politicians come out and tell you exactly what the facts are, you know. There are very few who have done it like me, so just spill the truth and get over it. I apologize and you promise not to make that happen again. Not many people do that. And so I wasn't surprised that the Prime Minister actually said that, you know, he did know the person and that sort of thing. So I can't doubt him. All of us have field memory from time to time, you know. So we would like to see that, you know, people change their attitude and this kind of devious plotting, if is that what was the intention, you know, that people should stay away from that sort of thing and get down to serious governance. You know, I'm saddened by this, and I feel that, you know, we should move above that level of politicking and campaigning. The election is over. We have a couple of years again to deal with governing Trinidad and Tobago and the governance of Tobago. We should get down to serious business. get down to the issue of the Tobago Autonomy Bill, you know, and that will put the whole a different light on the situation and make it even difficult for people to plot like that, you know, to damage the THA. So we know specifically what are the responsibilities of the THA, what are the clear responsibilities of the government, and what responsibility the THA have to carry out government policy in Tobago, you know, and what are these prescribed responsibilities for the THA, some which is in the legislation but is not being practiced, or the responsibility not given to the THA. You know, these are some of the big issues that we need to address here in Tobago.
Do you think we've gone so far?
It really went too far. As I said, it is a scandal, and you can't get away from that. And it has to be investigated. And when you see the level of police involvement in the investigation of the audio tape, you know, I mean, maybe the whole police service should have to be coming to Tobago to investigate this, because it's a much serious issue than an audio tape and people discussing something, you know, which I find is minuscule to what it was reported yesterday. You know, so I don't know, and people seem to have not have the trust in the police service to do justice to this allegation, you know, as deep-seated as it is, and the level of conspiracy that took place, especially as reported, based on the information that is reported. I don't have any other information to describe this thing as scandalous, and I really would like to see how the police will handle this, or the DPP for that matter, will handle this situation and moving forward.
And what's interesting is that yesterday, after, you know, ducking the media in local terms, we saw the Commissioner of Police come out within a couple hours of the statements and make a very scripted statement. She didn't say much. We also had Mr. Wendell Lucas, who's the head of the White Collar Division, also adding a piece and saying that he's going to continue the investigation into the AudioGate scandal, but they made no mention of whether or not they would investigate some of the claims that were made. And there are even other things related to that was brought to the fore beforehand that we're not seeing those investigations for.
Yeah, and that tells you that the police seems to be taking political instructions. That is what comes across. Many of the political or the people in the media that I've spoken to about this yesterday, we had many discussions with many media persons and political scientists and so on, and all of us are convinced that it was political instructions from someone high up that gave the police these instructions or insisted that they operate in this particular way. It's a very high-handed approach to this Emailgate investigation. So you'll wonder how much this thing will be covered up. This new scandal will be covered up, and it's clear that they were instructed to make these statements yesterday, you know, and there's a similar thread in all the statements, you know, and so you wonder whether maybe it's the same author, you know, or the same person who instructed, you know, the thing to be done. That is how it came across to a lot of us in the media yesterday, you know, and I share that view as well.
Certainly. And then also when you look at the arrest warrants that was presented in the House, because Mr. Augustine took some time to go through those, and there were so many errors that came up in terms of even, you know, the employment of certain individuals and that sort of thing to, in a way, invalidate the arrest warrants that was presented to them.
Yeah, and it shows a couple of things. First, it shows that they were not, it's a thing that was rushed or hustled. I don't know if it was after I don't know how soon that was, the decision was given to them to do this thing, but it was hustled, not proper research was done, not proper information gathered to generate the kind of evidence you want to go to a magistrate, to a judicial person and say, listen, I am swearing to an affidavit that this thing is what is happening and we want a warrant to go and search this person's premises, and you have 40-something warrants to be executed on different persons on the island. It was rushed. It was not well researched. Not enough information was gathered to build up the necessary evidence to go before a magistrate or a judge to say you want this thing done. You know, and it questions whether the man falsely declared a false declaration to the judge
on whether this is so or not. Maybe he could be charged, maybe, if all this information was so poorly provided in the document to be executed. So you swear to a judge that you want to go and search this person because of A, B, and C, and half of the information is not correct. It's very embarrassing to the police service.
And it also opens up the police service to litigation.
Yes, sure. I'm sure that, for example, the information that was provided at the warrant for the former chief administrator, it is clear. And the type of person I know she to be, she wouldn't resist taking the matter further legally, to protest the situation and the incorrect information that was on the warrant, and about her employment and the period of which she was employed and so on, and given the impression that she was employed by or appointed by the public, by the THA. The whole thing was so rushed. It serves as an embarrassment to the police service.
But if you listen to Mr. Wendell Lucas, at the head of the White Collar Division yesterday, he stated that the officers acted with integrity and they did their job and they're going to continue doing their job.
I totally disagree with that. They were instructed to do the job how they did it. I could understand that. If he said that, I would agree with him. I have this excessive force use, and it was clearly designed to embarrass or insult or give the public a certain impression that this thing was so serious that you have to have so many dozens of policemen in this exercise to execute all these warrants and so on. I understand they have to do some more today again. What is all this about? If you have warrants to be executed, you come in a decent way, and that is a decent way of how the police operate. It questions Mr. Lucas' integrity himself, his integrity, And so, you see, when people advise the police or the people in authority who have certain responsibility to do things in this rush way, this is how it comes across to the public. And I said on another occasion recently, if you have to deliver justice, justice must not only be done, but more importantly, it must appear to be done. You do the thing right, and sometimes you have to do the thing right and proper. It may take a little longer, but still do it right and do it properly. And people respect you for that.
Now, the minority leader said that, for one thing, he disagreed with what was said in the House. But he said that the real issue is that audio clip and that allegation that, the chief secretary was conspiring to use public funds to spread propaganda. Are we straying away from that point? Or, how should that compare to what was said yesterday?
The audio tape, in my view, is my personal opinion and view. The audio tape is not even a storm in a teacup. It's a stir in a teacup, if you want to call me. And so I don't see the big issue about that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not even one of the Bush variety. But at the same time, we can't. This to me is two people discussing something, and these discussions go on in all political parties and governments from the time I was involved in politics. I know all that kind of discussion that take place. This one was audio taped, and somebody leaked it to the media and so on, and they make a big issue of it and so on, and they say, well, it's conspiracy and all this sort of thing, and as long as you conspire or you agree to conspire, they find it's a charge and so on. You can't find a way in which it was agreed to. It was not implemented. It was maybe discussed. The chief secretary said they discussed all things about these matters and so on, and how to deal with this thing in the future. They never allowed that to be the practice which they have adopted and so on. Nobody was employed to do such a thing. So I have no reason to doubt the chief secretary, So I just feel that it's a storm in a teacup, and they're using this as a distraction for all the other issues that have been highlighted nationally and in Tobago in particularly.
Should the chief secretary handle the situation in the way that he did yesterday, bringing it to the House, or should he have gone through some other medium to get his story out or to address the public?
I think when you do it in the House, you have some protection. You kind of not impossible, but it's kind of difficult to take. You have some protection in the house, privileges in the house when you do it in the house. In the parliament, you notice sometimes people will say things in the parliament under the protection of the parliament, and other persons will say, well, listen, you say this inside, you go outside and say that, and you'll see what I'll do, So there's some protection in the house, and Fali feel that maybe that's the best way to go, to let the public see, well, this is a statement I'm making, this is the information that I have, this is what was recorded, this is what was said, this is all the information, and that is what makes the whole thing a scandal, in my view.
And do you see any parallels to what's happening today, or over the past couple of weeks, I should say, what's happening to that of what happened when Mr. A.N.R. Robinson was Prime Minister?
Parallel in what respect?
In terms of it being a coup.
Oh, well, there's no parallel with that, really, but there's certain things that led up to the coup, and there's certain things that that was said by certain persons in the protective services before the coup and even during the coup. It reminded me of that in that sense. But I remember the day of I'm not too sure if it was the coup, the coup, when he was talking about a lot of things about corruption in the PNM on that day in Parliament and so on, and then that is where the attempted coup started. I mean, people feel that, you shouldn't bring back all these things that happened in the past. And it's, that to me, without my memory, if I remember carefully, that led up to the attempted coup, because people were prompting and getting upset with Robinson at the time, who wanted to let the population remember, the Jean Miles issue and all these other issues that was swept under the carpet. I mean, the way they treated Jean Miles. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, these are serious, the lock joint issue. All those are things that the present generation may not even recall or don't even know about. But there were serious corruption issues practiced by the previous administration before Robinson came into power, that the population felt ashamed that it should be discussed in Parliament, and a lot of resistance, and even within the police service and even into the protective services. And that, led to the Jamaat, taking the course of action which it did. So people have to be careful what they do. And this is a country, Trinidad and Tobago. When you talk the truth, sometimes people take it to court for that. And sometimes they even win you through some loophole and some kind of thing, or because you can't get people to come and corroborate your evidence or your information that you have, and so on. So people have to be very careful. Getting justice in this place is not easy. You have to be brave. You have to stand up for it. You have to feel it. You have to want justice. And getting justice in some of these instances is not just getting justice for yourself, but setting a precedent that, things must change and people must have integrity in what they're doing. You do these things, you go to court, is to get a better system. People approach things differently. People operate at a certain level of integrity, and a compassion, an urge and a need to see justice, peace and justice to prevail in the society. And that's bringing me to the other point which I want to make, is that, these kind of things, you're hearing that Fali has the chief secretary, has another issue to come to the fore in whatever time he decides to bring that to the fore. Yes. And there are other plotters on the government side that they have other things planning as well to come and so on. Where this thing will really end? How long will it continue plotting to embarrass one another and so on? And that will lead up to the particular elections. One could understand the importance of the 2 seats in Tobago for the PNM, and they will try their best to do everything to ensure that the PNM come out of this political embarrassing situation where they were defeated 14-1. And so, you could understand they're trying their best to get back in the good graces of the population in Tobago. And one of the ways to do that is try as much as possible to embarrass the present administration. But how far and how long are we going to take or tolerate that kind of politics when there are so many other important issues to discuss? You know, if these issues come up at election time, you know, sometimes it's more important you come up before election time. But let us please have the kind of discussion with the THA and the government so that at least peace and respect will prevail, and then we could understand how we can move to get progress done. Without peace, without trust, you know, you can't get things done because you always feel uncomfortable with each other. You hear the Prime Minister indicated that he don't want to have no discussion with Fali without a third party. You know, that is sowing seeds of discord and distrust. You know, and Fali going to say something else that the Prime Minister is not to be trusted and that kind of thing. What we have to do is to move away from that. A lot of water under the bridge, the water still below the bridge, and the bridge still standing. But let us try to use the bridge to build a relationship between the THA and the Prime Minister, the head of the government in Trinidad and Tobago. To me, that is what is critically important.
But do you think that can happen at this point in time, after everything that was said?
How you mean? I mean, you see governments in the past. I was a member of the Assembly when we had problems with financing and so on. They used to there's a guy in finance, the ministry in Trinidad don't even want to talk to the THA and so on, to tell them how serious the situation was at that point in time in the Tobago House of Assembly. And I talked to Dinoon, who was the chairman then, you know, and said, listen, we have to go to Manning and talk to him straight about this face to face, you know. Chairman agreed. We called Manning straight away. Manning said, Chairman, let's do this. Let's come down. You want to come down or you want me to come up? He said, well, we will go down and meet him. That is Manning, you know, who we battered in the election and so on. We beat them in the election, you know, and so on. So he felt, listen, this is an opportunity. Really, let's build a better relationship and understand what's happening in Tobago. You know, we went down, myself, Benedict Armstrong, who was deputy chairman, Alan Richards, who was the chief administrator, I think they called him clerk at that time. And we went down, we have a nice discussion, and we lay our case to Manning. After all this political bankering and so on that we had. And Manning said, listen, you know, gentlemen, I didn't know this thing was so serious. We have to put a stop to this and understand what is happening. From that time, the situation improved financially with the situation between THA and the government. It lasts for a little while, but at the same time, we got to a point where people sat down like big men, serious people with their responsibilities and their people to please and satisfy, and had that discussion. And I'm saying what is so difficult, especially with a Prime Minister who born and grew here in this place, and a young, ambitious Chief Secretary who wants to serve the people in a particular way. Why the two of them can't sit down and have a serious discussion? If even you mean bringing other people to intervene, or the third party or fourth party to have a discussion, first to move forward. That is what is critical to me at this point in time. How long are you going to continue busting marks here, busting mark here, dropping a bombshell here, dropping a bombshell there, and what? And the police will come, and of course they will take the side of the government, who will instruct them what to do, when to do it, and with what kind of force. You know, we have to move away from that kind of politicking and get down to serious business. And I'm saying peaceful, meaningful dialogue between the THA and the government to ensure that we move forward smoothly and put all these political storm in a teacup issues aside.
All right, now we're going to take a little break, but before we get into that break, I just want to, you know, just voice this ad here before we go to a break for Papa B's Inn. So Papa B's Inn is available, and they are located at number 6 Scipio Trace in Canby, and they provide services for minibar, pool, massages, air-conditioned rooms, Wi-Fi, and the list goes on. And they have packages including $700 per couple, $1,000 per family, and $600 for a single unit. Breakfast and lunch available, and you can reach them at Papa B Tobago Blackman at gmail.com, and the numbers are 631-80838 or 768-7712. All right. And so we'll go to a quick break and we'll be back.
60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong.
now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bon Accord, right in Tobago local road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, just before we get back into our conversation with Mr. Gerald McFarlane, Dad's Auto Parts has a special for you. Located at Clark Chase and Signal Hill, currently offering a sale on all car parts. Dad's Auto Parts and Accessories is your neighborhood auto supply, from oils to batteries and everything in between. Dad's Auto is your go-to guy, so be sure and check them out. All right, so Mr. McFarlane, you know, the climate in Tobago has been so adversarial over the past few years. We've been using, since 2021, we've been using the word unprecedented quite a lot. And we're sort of wearing down that term right now in terms
What
of
do we use?
unprecedented. Started with a 6-6 situation and everything in between leading up to what happened yesterday. You know, like, do you see any positive changes happening within our space and where the people of Tobago could just breathe?
If I was closely associated with either the two parties, that is what I would have insisted and pressed for. We just can't continue like this. You know, we don't into a political season in Trinidad.
Yes.
You know, but at the same time, we have to find middle ground. We have to find common areas of common interests and so on. If the two parties are seriously interested of serving the people, one is seriously interested of being Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago as a country, a Prime Minister who respects the agenda of the Tobago House of Assembly, and you try to work and understand what they want to do, provide them with the necessary support, provide them with the necessary authority to do a number of things, some of which are still not developed in the Act, bringing that to the Tobago House of Assembly, bring that to Parliament, let us work on it, have some agreement with the opposition for them to have the bill passed, as an act, and have greater autonomy done for Tobago. That's a serious issue to be dealt with, But we need to develop the relationship first. We need to develop the trust, so that this thing could be done. And that is what I pray for and hope for every day. You know?
Can the people of Tobago still trust in Chief Secretary Fally Augustine as a leader?
Boy, from what I'm seeing in the last few days, I mean, it has been a level of almost unprecedented support for the man outside the assembly. Hundreds of people gather shouting in favor of Fally. The meeting in WIM a few nights ago, Saturday night, I think.
No, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, you know. I mean, more than 1,000 people on the live feed. You know, I mean, the place packed to capacity. People had to walk with their chairs and things, even outside to take in the meeting in WIM. You know, that tells you something, that the people in Tobago, and there's historical precedence to this, people in Tobago don't like when a government try to impose its will on the people of Tobago. You know, it happened when, I think, many times in the government in the past, you know, the people always support the underdog, if you want to call it that. The might of the government against the people of Tobago, you mean, over the years, the people of Tobago frown on that, you know. So I'm saying that is going to give Fally a lot of assets, you know, for him to thrive on. And I hope he could use that wisely, especially at this time. A lot more people seem to be coming and understand the advantage that is being placed on him. You know?
No, I mean, if there is that support, I mean, we're seeing, I shouldn't say if, but we're seeing that support. Do you think that the government is also seeing that support, so that everything that they have tried to say or try to paint a certain picture or set a narrative, if you want to use that term, you know, no matter what, it has not eliminated the support that Mr. Augustine has received. Do you think that they are taking note of that?
Of course, the party is taking note of that. The PNM is not. PNM has been around for a long time. You know, they're not foolish. They know. I mean, I can tell you that the party leadership had an idea of what the results of this last election in Tobago would have been, because of their work on testing the waters privately and publicly with different surveys and things that was being done. So they know, they have a feeling, they understand, and they know the importance of these two seats in the coming election. You know, whenever that will be, in the next 3 years, I think. You know, they know the importance of that, these two seats. So they're trying their best at least to link part of his heritage, you know, the Prime Minister, from Tobago, bring your Tobagoness to the platform, try to make peace. You might get better dividends on your suggestion. But we can't just continue to just blast Fally, embarrass Fally, use the police service, use things like you're not giving them permission to blast at the quarry, you know, and it's when things get brought down by the airport project, you know, all right, we'll get them because the airport project need material to crush, you know, and so they're establishing water lines or whatever you're doing in Tobago. You come like if you're just boring yourself, you know, the license officers and so on came and embarrassed Fally's wife and you know, this kind of way. I mean, and what I'm saying, that is an incident in which, you know, Fally said, all right, the lady, his wife didn't have a driver's permit and so on with her, but the way you behave in treating the woman and getting the driver's permit to her and that kind of thing, you know, more than bullied. And like if there was an attempt to embarrass. That is what we're getting the impression of. In the Manning days, people were brought and told, listen, let us have a better relationship with the THA. And we felt that Christopher Rowley, as Prime Minister from this island, he will have a much better approach. He knows the people more than Manning knows the people in Tobago. And he must have a more better approach to the assembly of developing a relationship, a working and meaningful relationship with the Tobago House of Assembly.
But do you think that he respects the fact that the THA is not run by his PNM counterparts here in Tobago?
There's a lot of political tabanka playing there. You can't get away from that. I know how they feel. 22 years or 20-something years, you know, that they have been there and so on. And people felt that they were doing things that the population wasn't satisfied with. And the population decided what they want and who they want. You know, one could understand you've been there holding on to the coffers and of authority and the positions in Tobago for 21 years, and they lose the election, you know, and people look at that as well. The population say, well, listen, Prime Minister came across too crude and too hard on the population and so on. There are a number of things within the party and things that didn't work out well, you know. People, some party people were embarrassed, insulted. Some party people in Tobago was cussed out by the leadership of the thing in Tobago, you know. So, I mean, people in the party, in the PNM, decided to vote against the PNM in some of these areas because they were vexed. And that issue with Kelvin Charles, a lot of people, even up to now, have not forgiven certain people in the party for that. You know, how Kelvin Charles was treated. You know, people up to now, I know people will tell you, I am a PNM, but I detested the way that was done. You know, they didn't like it. You know, and Kelvin Charles maybe was about to change the status quo, how things was done in the assembly. You know, contractors, particular contractors, I am told, who were getting 6 and 7 contracts, you know, and other people of the very party wouldn't get in one, and Kelvin Charles decided to change that and make it a little more equitable, have more equity in these contracts or these small contracts that was done. That is one of the things that he get licks for. You could imagine that, you know. So people in the party have frowned on that kind of thing, and that Kelvin Charles factor is a big thing still in the party. Keith Rowley's heavy-handed approach to the situation in Tobago have to be reviewed and looked at again if they want to make inroads here. You know, the government ministers and so on need to understand that, listen, a better relationship is better in the long run, politically and administratively for the island.
And as you mentioned, the contracts and those issues, I mean, we're seeing where all this are happening into what happened under the last administration, the previous administration, as well as their contractors within the space that said that they would they would continue pushing hard to get what is owed to them, even though some of that work is questionable. There are grounds to question it. There's grounds for the audit to be going on at this point in time. And there also seems to be a bit of a status quo here in Tobago where some people feel that, you know, only they can have access to these large contracts and so on, or they can have the biggest slice of the pie.
I am in this fortunate or unfortunate situation that I know a lot of these contractors, some of them quite well, and so on. I know the dilemma that the THA find itself. You could imagine the scandal that would have been if the THA decided to pay these people for work that they have not done, work that they have done poorly, work they have not done in keeping with the scope of works, work that they have not done in using the appropriate material which was agreed to, you know, and all these things. You want to pay these people, and there's questions about it. And that's why I kind of have some respect for the last chief administrator who decided, say, in all of this, listen, I'm not going to ask our accounting or auditing people to look at this matter. I'm going to bring in a forensic audit. She took that decision to the Executive Council. The Executive Council agreed. Bring in a forensic auditor to investigate this thing and to see what is happening. And it's from that way the bacchanal start. But if Ali had went ahead and paid these people for work that they have not done or not done properly or exaggerated their invoices, you know, and so on, that would have been another scandal in itself. So what people have to understand, listen, exercise some patience. I'm sure that these people will be paid eventually, but let the process take its course and let the Public Service Commission and all the necessary agencies go through the process and so on. They have taken a decision that based on what they have seen, that's the Public Service Commission, based on the preliminary or first phase finding of the audit report. She took it upon herself to send it to the Public Service Commission. These are the findings of this audit report. The Public Service Commission, in its own decision, decided to suspend somebody because they feel that they've implicated in this matter. Suspend somebody from the Prime Minister's office, you know, a PS, you know, in the Prime Minister's office. The Public Service Commission did that. Fali had nothing to do with that. And the Chief Administrator had nothing to do with that. You know, but except that the Public Service Commission saw that there was merit in this thing. But nobody here talking about that, you know. Nobody, but of course, it causes embarrassment to the Prime Minister in particular, especially since the PS was in his office. You know, it tells you a little bit about some of the independence of the Public Service Commission that had to be observed and understood and respected. You know, but I am saying that I feel, and because I know a lot of these contractors, I know how it is hurting them. But I'm saying if they used to do that with this practice and get away with it, these are new administration. You have to be more careful and how you're doing and make sure these things contracts that were given were signed. You understand what was the scope of works and you submit your claims for your payment of work that was done. You know, and that is what I think the Chief Secretary is trying to do. So I'm just saying exercise patience and so on. And you have to move away from the thing where somebody in the government in Trinidad call in and say, pay this one, I give you this amount of money, ensure this one get paid and so on. That is not how government run. You don't run a government like that. Not a THA government or a national government like that. People have to be careful and deal with this thing quite seriously. I know some of the contractors are hurting. I know a lot of them, you know. I know a lot of them. And I told them straight, I mean, I can't go against the law. If you've got a scope of work to do something, some of them had no scope of work, they were just doing things according to what somebody tell them to do, you know, and they expect payment. Maybe that used to happen in the past. We have to change that. These are painful decisions, a painful pill of medicine that we have to swallow. We can't continue with this kind of anyhow, anything goes, or let me push that, or a prime minister or minister say, pay this man now. I send somebody, pay this man. You don't operate like that.
And with that, well, Mr. McFarlane, we have to wrap our session this morning. I want to thank you so much for being on with us. It was definitely a pleasure having you, and we hope that you can be back.
Anytime. No one have the opportunity to do so, I'll do that, man. Just we need fair comments and, you know, justifiable arrangements and, you know, do things legally and above board. You make a mistake, you're sorry for your mistake, you avoid it, you come out and you apologize and you say sorry. And move on, the world wouldn't end, the sky wouldn't fall in. You know, we need to be big enough to know when we make mistakes. I made mistakes while I was a member of the assembly, like everybody else. Everybody make mistakes. But the important thing is to learn from your mistakes and see how you're moving forward. Don't let your mistakes or your failure keep you back. You have to move forward. You have a 65,000 people in Tobago to see about. You have 1.4 million people in this country that we have to manage and to see and get through a number of things. Let's do that fairly, with equity, with compassion and reason and understanding, and realize that the people come first. Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. McFarlane. And viewers, we're not quite done because we've got a little bit more left on the program, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this break.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Yes, be careful.
Honey, I feel I'm going to start to cook, yes, because these children are hungry now, right? Okay. Plugs, oh my gosh.
Hey, who's that? Hey, come from there, come from there.
What's going on in here?
Oh God, I should have boy. What would you do if this happened to you? Dial 990 in case of fire emergencies and always have a serviceable fire extinguisher ready and available at all times.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, before we continue our conversation, let's get into some more, a little bit of an opportunity for you car people out there. Zurex Auto Limited, are you in need of car parts? Zurex Auto Limited, Branch Road, number 2, Glen Road is your place to go. Walk in or call us at 722-5746 or 780-5902. Zurex Auto for all your car parts needs. Sale on all car parks now, so be sure to check them out if you need anything. All right, so viewers, we are going to get into our conversation with Miss Kadisha John, who is talking to us about something fun that's happening on Tobago Updates very soon. So, special good morning and welcome to you.
Hi, pleasant good morning.
And you are getting ready to launch your show, Sister Talk, with Kadisha, all on Tobago Updates.
Yes,
so,
that's right.
Take it away.
Right. So, Sister Talk with Khadijah was actually aired on, it was actually started off as a web series talk show in 2019. However, it's now getting the opportunity to be launched on the television platform, right? So it's basically a web series talk show that was aired and geared towards empowering and inspiring women in our society. It's a safe space for women to share similar experiences, and it's not anything to do with man bashing or anything like that, right? It's really just a safe space for women to share experiences so that we are aware and we feel a sense of belonging throughout our journey.
So tell me a bit about what inspired you to start these series.
Okay, well, I kid you not. Initially, from a young age, I really just started prophesying to myself and to persons close to me that I'm going to have my own talk show for women. I don't know where that came from. I'm not lying. That's how it started. I decided to prophesy I would have my own talk show for women, and I was pretty young. So I don't even know if I really knew what that meant, right? But as I got older and life began to happen, let's see, and the vision became more real. And based on certain experiences that I would have experienced, it gave me the motivation to really do this. And I felt a sense of purpose, wanting to do something like this. Then that coupled with my my field of study, because I have a degree, bachelor's degree in behavioral sciences, right? And so I naturally have that love and appreciation for human nature, human behavior, understanding the way we do things, why we do things, why we experience certain things. Yeah, so I would say that is how that desire began for me.
And, give me an idea of some of the things that you've been able to do so far on your show that really kept you going.
Okay, right. So season 1, as I said, it's really actually 4 years old, right? So season 1, the theme for season 1 was health and wellness. And so I had 6 episodes, which covered basically health and wellness, mind, body, and soul. Right. So I had my first episode, sorry, was about was termed Know Your Fashion. And that's basically about understanding the right type of clothing to wear for your body type. And it also talks about the right makeup to wear for your undertone and your facial structures and that kind of thing. And then we go into episode 2 with Fit and Well, which talks about physical health. We had a Zumba guest, and then we had a guest that talked about incorporating natural herbs and making the right types of foods and even medicine that you could take to help have a better nutrition, better diet, right? And then we go into sex education. We had a sex education segment. That was one of my favorite segments because it was so interactive and so relatable. I mean, who doesn't want to talk about something like that, right? We were able to bring in questions from viewers beforehand, and the sexologist was able to answer these questions. And because it was a web series talk show, initially we were able to have persons commenting and sharing while the show was going on. So it was not only interactive on the show itself, but persons viewing were able to talk and discuss and share as well. That kept me going. Just the general essence of the show, interacting with my guests, sharing these topics kept me going, kept me alive.
So what makes Sister Talk with Khadijah different from a host of other women talk shows that are out there?
What makes Sister Talk with Khadijah different? One, it's coming out from Tobago. I believe Sister Talk with Khadijah is one of the first female talk shows that came out of Tobago. They might have another one or others, but I believe so. Don't quote me too much on that, but I believe so, right? One of the first one, that is one of the uniqueness about it. 2, what else I would say that makes it unique? It is natural. It's not too structured. It's structured in the sense that, yes, I have these shows set out and what I want, but I honestly do not have like a script, right? I gauged certain questions I wanted to ask, but it's conversational. We sit, we chat, we lie, we talk. It's real, and I would say that's one of the things that I would highlight that might be different as well.
All right. And so, you're choosing now to expand and bring it on to Tobago Updates. Why?
Well, it gives me an opportunity, to bring it back, because I think after so much time, it would have come out of persons' minds, right? After the initial airing, which I think spanned for about 6 weeks. After that time, individuals would have watched the show for a short period of time after that, checking in for episodes they would have missed. But after that time, out of sight, out of mind, right? So it gives persons an opportunity to relive the moments, and persons who were not even able to tap into the show, a chance to tap in again. And then we have the old school folks who are not so into the social media online aspect. They're able to pull up the television, sit back, relax, and take it in, because not everybody is into the online arena, right? So we have that. And I think it's good to say that, my show is on TV.
Certainly. It is a good feeling to know that you're on TV.
Yeah,
I can relate.
Yeah.
All right, so just give us an idea as to when Sister Talk with Khadijah would be premiering, because I know your viewers want to get in on this and we want to see what Khadijah has to offer. I mean, you're hearing her this morning and she's very articulate and she can only just imagine. If you haven't seen, and I have actually seen some of those episodes, and they're actually great, by the way. They're actually quite great. But, I mean, it's going to be bigger and better on here on Tobago Updates. So, let the viewers know when they can catch you.
Okay, so the first episode would be aired this Sunday. When should I look? Where's the camera again? Yeah. Right. So the first episode would be aired this Sunday at 6 p.m. Yes, Sunday at 6 p.m. I believe they're supposed to have a rerun episode in the week. I would have to confirm that, but Sunday at 6 p.m., yes, you can catch the first episode, the premiere.
Yes. Great. So viewers, there you have it. From Sunday, 6 p.m., get connected with Khadijah. And what are the ways that people can get connected with you? You have social media?
Yes, so I have a special Sister Talk with Khadijah Facebook page. You could tune in there. I also have a YouTube account, Sister Talk with Khadijah. You can check that out there as well. Instagram, there's also Sister Talk with Khadijah. Right, so that's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Sister Talk with Khadijah, and you should be able to catch me there, catch episodes there.
All right, well, thank you so much, Khadijah, for being on with us and for sharing your new developments. And we're happy here at Tobago Updates that we can partner with you and give you that platform so that you can have your women talk. And that's so important for our space, for our women to have that place where they can explore ideas and so on. So I want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, viewers, well, that's it for the show this morning. It was a pleasure being with you. I want to thank you for viewing, and we would see you again tomorrow.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago.